Welcome to the channel, everyone. This video I'm going to show you how to fix small dents such as hail dents, anything around a dime size to a quarter size. Now, a couple of stipulations with these dents: the paint can't be broken, it's still a good paint surface, and you need to have access to the back side. So this works real good on hoods, roofs, deck lids. Now on a roof you need to have the headliner out, so if there's a lot of damage it's best to take the headliner out anyway instead of trying to grind these out or fill them with bondo and sand them. So I'm going to show you the technique I've been using for years. It works real good. We won't need any bondo, very little primer on it, and just a couple of hand tools. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, we need to make sure our surface is clean so we can find all the dents. We're going to go ahead and identify them first. So we're going to mark them all with a paint marker. We're going to go around, find them all, mark them ahead of time, so once we start repairing we don't have to start hunting for them. We can just see them with the mark around them. We're going to use two different hammers, both picking hammers. Now I've got one here that's got a long pick on it, and I don't know if I'll have to use this on this hood here. Probably use this one, but this is handy on roofs because when you're reaching over the top to hold your dolly and reaching underneath with the hammer, you don't have to have your arm all the way up. Sometimes it's kind of awkward to get around the roof rail, and with that long reach on that, it's a little more comfortable. You can keep your arm a little bit lower, and you can pick it up like that. So, and then we've got a light dolly. It's a thin one, a little bit lighter. So I'm going to show you how I do them from start to finish. And I'm going to start by putting a circle around all of these with my paint marker. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I don't need to look underneath on this hood, but I'll take my hammer, and I think you can see it there. I'll push it around underneath and I can see where the point of it is. You can see the metal moving, and the trick to this right now is trying to get it so I can see what I'm doing and also so it shows up on this video. But I think that's showing up. So what I'll do, I'll take my hammer and I can run that back and forth, get it right where I want it, and I'm going to start right on the outside. Now this is a very small dent, so I'm going to start on just one side and kind of work my way around to the center. I'll put the dolly on top of it, and I'm just do some real light tapping. And I'm going to have to move this camera so I can get in there and see what I'm doing. And I want to go nice and slow, not a lot of force on the hammer. And I actually want to bring this up a little higher than what's supposed to be. And I'll tell you why. Okay, we don't want to leave it a little bit low because all we're going to do is float the DA over this with 220. Once all of these are done, I'm just going to keep working over it, and it'll break through the clear coat and then through the base coat, and then about the time the E-coat shows up, when I start seeing that, that's where I'm going to stop. If I left it just a little bit low, I'd be sanding all the way around this, and it'd take forever to get through this whole surrounding area, take all the paint down, and by that time it still may be low. And then it's a little bit tougher to come back and try and find it. So if you bring it up just a little bit, and what you're actually doing is using the factory finish for your filler. So that will get cut down and it won't need any bondo on here. Okay, and then once I have it done, I'll put a mark through it so I know that one's good to go. I won't come back and try and start on it again, not realizing I've already been there. Gonna move over to a little bit bigger one. Okay, by pushing the hammer back and forth underneath, I can see where the tip is. And the reason I'm tapping on it light, if I'm off a little bit, if I'm not right where I want to be, it's not going to put a big dent coming up where I'm going to have to try and rework it. The idea is to finish all this with no filler, no bondo on it. Once it's DA'd down in 220, then a couple of coats of primer, float the DA back over it with 320 or whatever you want, and it's done. Okay, I'm going to mark this one. That one's done. Okay, and another reason for using the marker on here, once I start sanding this with the DA and it gets covered in dust, I can still see where I need to sand. Even if it was this whole hood or a complete roof and you've got dents everywhere, you can see to make sure you don't miss any once your paint mark is gone and you know where to concentrate the sanding effort. So it's just a little bit easier to see and keep track of your work. Right, another variation of this, if the hood is off, you can flip it over. Sometimes it's a little harder to find a dents because it's a flat finish underneath. Like this here is kind of dirty, but if you can find those little spots, you can actually hammer from this side, and sometimes that'll work real good too. Now it won't work on a roof because, you know, I've tried it, and you get inside a vehicle and my arms are never long enough to hold a dolly out there. But what I did try and do, I experimented with, I took a speaker magnet and I ground it back fairly flat, and I thought that would work like a dolly. I could set that up on the roof, get inside and get underneath and tap on it. But even as heavy as some of those big magnets are, that thing would still bounce around. It didn't work. So, and it's probably about the same weight as these dollies, but just laying your fingers on there supports it enough, holds it in place. So, like I said, it's another alternative. Flip it over, get to the back side. Sometimes a little easier, sometimes not. But I'm going to take the DA to this and we'll see how it comes out. Okay, let me get this cleaned up and see how it looks. All right, those come out real good. Real happy with that. Let me give you a close-up. All right, here's what I've been talking about. Bring these dents up just a little bit high. You can see where one's here, here, one there, in here. Now there's one just barely breaking through here. Some of these are almost pea size, so they're going to sand off nice and flat. But by bringing it up just a little bit, we're using the factory finish for our filler and our guide coat. We can see exactly how we're progressing, and it feels perfect. I don't feel anything wrong with this. Couple coats of primer on it, and it's ready to prep and paint. All right, now if you think that that's too time consuming to fix dents like that, do the math. Say you got a roof that's got 30 dents in it, and if you're gonna spend 3 minutes on each dent, that's only 90 minutes total. I don't think anybody can repair 30 dents with Bondo, start to finish, and have it ready for the paint shop in an hour and a half. I don't think it can be done. If you're saying we gotta waste time pulling the headliner out, well, if that has to be done, the insurance company is going to pay for that. So that's paid for. That doesn't have anything to do with the repair process. So it is a time saver, but it's just one of those techniques that you have to get in the habit of using it, try it out, see how it works, and you do it on a few small dents and see how it comes out for you before you move into, just committing to doing a whole roof like that. But it does work good. Like I said, I've been doing it for years that way, had real good results. Couple coats of primer, float the DA over here with 320, 400, and you're ready to go. So anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Remember, hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching.